morning and welcome to Kids Church. I'm so happy that you've joined us today. If this is your first time at Kids Church, I want to say hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. We love new friends at TCC Kids, and we also love birthdays. So if you celebrated a birthday in this past week, we want to wish you a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Why don't you stand with me right now and we're going to sing a song.
My God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Our God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Yeah, every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful
Have you ever made a family tree before? Family trees are really interesting. They help us trace our ancestors, trace our family's history from years ago. And they help us realize where we came from. And we can learn a lot about our family from putting together a family tree. This is my family tree, and it's not a very big one. I have me, and then my mom and my dad, and then it goes back to my grandparents on both sides. And looking at my family tree, I can already learn a lot about my family. Like this side has lived in the United States for a long time, whereas this side came from Mexico. And so family trees can go on and on and on and on. Like I could put my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, and I can learn a lot of history about my family. Well, did you know that in the Bible, there are also family trees? And probably one of the most important family trees that we read about is the family tree of Jesus. There are two places in the Bible where it talks about the history, the lineage, or the genealogy of Jesus. And those are some really big words. but basically it's a family tree. And one of them is in Matthew. And in Matthew, in the family tree that we read, we can learn the ancestors of Jesus. We can learn about where Jesus came from and what lineage he was chosen to be in. And today's hero comes from the family tree of Jesus. Today's hero is one of 4 women that is found in Jesus's family tree that was actually mentioned in the Bible. And our unlikely hero is a really important person because she was involved in Jesus's history. And she has a really cool story, and you're gonna hear it today. So get ready to learn about our unlikely hero from Jesus's family tree, Ruth.
Well, in Ruth chapter 1, we find out that Ruth has a mother-in-law and a sister-in-law, and all 3 of their husbands had died. So Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, was going to head back to her homeland. She was originally from Israel, but she had moved to the land of Moab with her husband and her sons because there was a famine in the land of Israel, which means there wasn't any food. Back then, and in that culture, when a husband died, the wife would stay with his family. But Naomi believed that her daughters-in-law would be better off going back with their own families. So as they were traveling back to Israel, she told her daughter-in-laws to go back to their families. Well, one of them went back, Orpah, but Ruth didn't want to go back. She told Naomi that she was going to stay with her. She said,
"Your land will be my land, your people will be my people, and your God will be my God."
Just before Ruth said this, Naomi had told Ruth, "Look at your sister-in-law. She's gone back to her family and to her gods." You see, in the land of Moab, they didn't serve the one true God like they did in Israel. They were what would be called pagans, and they often had many gods that they worshiped. So when Ruth said that your people will be my people, and your land will be my land, and your God will be my God, Ruth wasn't just showing devotion to Naomi, but she was very loyal to her. She was choosing God. So from there, Ruth and Naomi go to Israel, and then Ruth did some really brave things to take care of herself and her mother-in-law. And in the end, she ended up getting married to a man named Boaz. Ruth and Boaz had a son named Obed. And then just like Miss Janet said in the beginning, Ruth ended up being in the family tree of Jesus. But you know what, you guys? That never would have happened if she didn't make that decision in the beginning to choose God. We never know what's going to happen when we choose God, but you know what? I can promise you that choosing God is always the best decision. It's always the best thing that you can do. I really hope and pray that you will be like Ruth and you will choose God. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.